Hello, you're watching HW News. This is me Anusha. Let's have a quick look at the headlines today. Protest continues to rock the nation. A high alert has been announced in the national capital. Section 144 has also been imposed in Delhi and parts of Uttar Pradesh. Section 144 also been imposed in Karnataka for 3 days in order to disallow more protest against the amended Citizenship Act. Now, internet services in many parts of the country, including Assam, continues to remain suspended in the wake of the protest. Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has warned the Congress leaders of consequences if they continue supporting anti-CAA protest. He said that the Congress is behind the protest against the CAA in the state and request all to maintain a peace. If the Congress leader continue to support protest, then they'll face consequences, he said. According to the current report, historian Ramchandra Guha during the protest detained by the Bangalore police.
I feel sorry for the police. The police are acting at the behest of their colonial, and I feel sorry for them that they have to do this. That order. Why is it that only BJP states have this? Why no other state has it? Why can you protest in other? This is totally wrong. Look at how peaceful they are. They are just ordinary citizens protesting, and how they have.
We pity the police also,
yeah,
because they have been forced to do this.
Exactly. I'm sorry for the police.
I was telling them.
I'm sorry because they are getting orders from Delhi.
Just
Delhi,
2 months back,
they
have
are.
been, listening to the
Our
other
paranoid rulers in Delhi are scared. Our Home Minister would not dare allow a peaceful protest. Everyone should stand up. The entrepreneurs of Bangalore should stand up. Do they want this image to go around that we are a part of a quasi-dictatorship? So absolutely. I mean, we are here to assert our democratic rights.
Are you going to stay here today, sir?
Of course I'm going to stay here. Of course I'm going to stay here. I'm going nowhere.
Now in Kolkata, where Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has been holding foot marches across the Citizenship Act as well as the NRC for the last 3 days, a rally will begin at noon from Dharmatala in Kolkata. Mamata Banerjee at her rally yesterday criticized Union Home Minister Amit Shah for not maintaining peace as protests continue against the law. Also in Mumbai, protesters will assemble at the August Kranti March to protest against the citizenship law. Also in Bihar, the state is likely to observe a state bandh. The left parties in Bihar have called for this bandh. The Bihar Congress Pradesh Committee has extended its full support to the call for the Bihar bandh. Now, in a twisted statement, Shiv Sena Sanjay Raut has informed that the Shiv Sena is not with the UPA. We are out of the BJP-led NDA but are not with the UPA, he said, and he further said that we have our own identity in the parliament. He was speaking over the controversial Citizenship Act. Shiv Sena had voted for the bill in the Lok Sabha that its alliance partner Congress has opposed ever since the Narendra Modi government presented the first draft of the bill in the parliament 4 years ago. However, in Rajya Sabha, the Sena had sought to accommodate the Congress and abstain from voting for the new law. But the Sena drew the line when Rahul Gandhi was seen to attack Veer Savarkar, the Hindutva icon who the Shiv Sena wanted to be awarded the Bharat Ratna, or when the Congress-led opposition declared they would ask President Kovind to scrap the law. Here, Sanjay Raut suggested that this wasn't the only case where his party would take a stand that may get against the line of the Congress party. So moving on, the second India-US 2+2 dialogue was held yesterday in the US, during which the two countries discussed a wide range of bilateral, regional, global issues. The US Secretary of the State Mike Pompeo, along with the Defense Secretary, hosted by Indian counterparts External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, for the highest level dialogue between the two countries. Now, reacting on the growing protest in India regarding the CAA, Mike Pompeo had informed that they are closely monitoring the issue and even urged the protesters to refrain from the violence.
Counter-terrorism effort was also discussed at today's meeting, and these have been boosted by a growing consensus on the nature of terror threats in the region and the dangers of cross-border terrorism and sanctuaries. I appreciate very much the sentiments expressed by Secretary Pompeo on the 11th anniversary of the 26/11 Mumbai attack. Our bilateral trade has registered double-digit growth of late. We have noted very good progress. There are ongoing negotiations on the subject of trade, and I'm very confident that we'll find a balanced outcome that satisfies both sides. India and the United States have an excellent cooperation in science and technology, and we have concluded and brought into effect a new agreement that facilitates science and technology cooperation. We have also today reached agreement through an MOU on water resources between our ministry and of Jal Shakti in the US Geological Survey for collaboration in quality assessment of the management.
So the world should know that despite all the noise, the chaos, the media asking questions that are completely unrelated to the reason that we're here today, that the leaders of our two nations are working diligently to protect the American people, to develop a relationship that's important strategically for the coming decades between the United States and India. And we won't let the noise and the silliness here in Washington, D.C. distract us from that. And then I'll answer your second question. Then I'll turn it over to my counterparts to address the issue. Yep, we care deeply and always will about protecting minorities, protecting religious rights everywhere. We honor Indian democracy as they have a robust debate inside of India on the issue that you raised. And the United States will be consistent in the way that we respond to these issues, not only in India, but all across the world.
Now, the GST Council yesterday departed from its practice of conscience-based decision-making, opting the first time for a vote to settle differences among states over the taxation of lotteries. The Council also deliberated upon a presentation made by a committee of officers set by to study revenue argumentation but refrain from any generalized rate increase or removal of exemptions.
Well, on the issue of the tradition, I just want to recollect, and I'm very grateful to all the ministers who participated. It was fairly an extended debate on the topic. Every attempt was made to keep that set tradition alive. Every attempt was made to convince based on the opinion making in the House. But eventually, the Council was reminded that the rules allow and that tradition is not part of the rule book. It was reminded to me that tradition was not part of the rule book, and the rules is what should govern the running of the Council. And therefore, after that, even after that, I had taken the sense of the House and being reminded that probably even sense of the House is not warranted, but rules have to be complied with. We went ahead with a decision to have a vote. So, it is not imposed by the Council, it's not imposed by me as a chair, but it was on a request from one member. So, let's have that in context. And as yes, and as regards the discussion on compensation, everyone did recognize the fact that one of the releases happened only a couple of days ago. Very well taken. There's no gap within the Council. I don't know if it exists anywhere. In the Council and in the Rajya Sabha, I have explained very in detail about how we remain committed to cooperative federalism and also to keep up, to honor the promises given on the GST. It was an officers committee which consists of centre and officials from the state also. They have just come up with one first shot of data since the time GST has been implemented till today, and based on different options of if the growth rate is this or if the growth rate is something else, how will it be, and gave a first picture. And the council and the ministers agreed that on this they have to mull over for some time and then come back. Also, there were suggestions that not just this, but some more data will have to be collected, analyzed, and then presented to the council all over again, such as on one particular example which one state took, edible oils. What would be the market post GST? Post rate reduction, has the market expanded, meaning as the tax base for that particular commodity expanded? And if after the reduction of the rate, has it improved in terms of the consumption and then tax collection and so on. So that was one example which was taken by one of the states.
Now moving on, President Donald Trump was impeached by the US House of Representatives, become only the third American chief executive to be formally charged under the Constitution's ultimate remedy for high crimes. The historic vote split along party lines, much the way it has divided the nation over the charges of that of the 45th president abused of the power of his office by enlisting a foreign government to investigate a political rival ahead of the 2020 election. The House then approved a second charge that he obstructed the Congress in its investigation. Hear them out.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the gentleman for yielding. Madam Speaker, I rise with a heavy heart to support this resolution. When we came to Washington in 1961 to go on the Freedom Rise, we chose that day. When we came here on August 28, 1963, for the March on Washington, it was joyful. We met with a young president, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. When we came here on August 6, 1965, for the signing of the Voting Rights Act, we were excited, hopeful. We met with President Lyndon Johnson, but today, this day, we didn't ask for this. This is a sad day. It is not a day of joy. Our nation is founded on the principle that we do not have kings, we have presidents. And the Constitution is our compasses. When you see something that is not right, not just, not fair, you have a moral obligation to say something, to do something. Our children and their children will ask us, what did you do? What did you say? For some, this vote may be hard, but we have a mission and a mandate to be on the right side of history.
And for more news updates, log on to www.hwnews.in.